Hey guys, it's Nicole, and I finished my layout, so I'm going to start by showing you the products I didn't end up using, and then I'll go into the products that I did use and show you what the final layout looks like. The first thing is the only sheet of paper I did not use was this text paper that was called Kitsch from the Girls Papery. Looks like that on the other side. And the only reason I didn't is because I did a little bit of typing with my typewriter, and I thought that the typewriter letter kind of competed with the typewriter font on this layout. So I didn't add this sheet of paper, but all other papers were used. And then I didn't end up using any screen prints, not the heart one and not the one with the little, right there, the little typewriter on it. That's not the texture I went for, so I didn't end up adding those. Out of all those freeze and sticker sheets that I pulled, this is the only one that I did not use one journal label from. All the other ones I used something. I didn't end up using these vintage mini Scrabble letters. I kept the focus on things about writing and script and typewriting and computer keys and things like that, so this just didn't come into play. I did not use these journaling sprouts because since I wrote a letter to her as the main component, I really didn't need a journal. That kind of said what I wanted the layout to say. And then last but not least, I did not use any craft elements, so these did not get used. I just didn't use any type of craft focus, so the craft really didn't go with what I had. Okay, now for what I did use. I used, all of these papers right here. I used this one, and I actually used this side of this one as well. I used the number 11 since she's an 11-11-11 baby. I used a piece of this. I did end up using this one. Remember I was on the fence about this? I did end up using it though because I really thought it brought in the blues, the red, and that kind of creamy color that I had, so I did end up using a strip of it. I used this crepe paper print and this script from Jelly Bean Soup, and then last but not least my focal paper that made me choose all the other colors, this gray with the red polka dot. And then I pulled this paper from one of those stacks, and I actually used it to type my letter on. So that all got used. Then from each of these, I really only pulled one thing from each of them. So for instance, I used this one little gray border right here. I used this one little file tab right here. I used this little red journaling spot here. And then I used the little word here that said story. So that just goes to show you, oh, and on this one I used this little gray one right up here. So that just goes to show you that even though I pulled a ton of stuff, I used one little piece out of each one. And then I did use some of my fabric right here. I love using this to add texture to my projects. I did use my little stamp set here, and it was really fun to use. I haven't used this since I purchased it, so I really enjoyed using that. I used one of these flowers, and these flowers have gone a long way. I've used 3 so far in different projects, and I made a couple cards with them, and they just seem to be, because they were kind of costly. Well, they were $5.50 for the pack, but it's kind of nice when they go a long way. So I used some of that, and then for the center of my flower, I used one of these buttons. I used my red washi tape, solid red, and then the typewriter that I opted for was from this thrift shop rub-on collection. This is my favorite set of rub-ons that I've ever had. This is my 3rd pack of them. I used them on the project I made for Sherry's layout. I used it on, I'm trying to think, a couple layouts that I made a few years ago. If you look at my YouTube channel, I've used them a ton, so I keep buying more and more and more because I just love this. So I use the typewriter from here. And then from this one, I just used some of this alphabet. I cut a little piece right there. Oh, and I'm sorry, I did not use these. I didn't end up using those. those. And then the one thing that I added, well, I added two things to my layout that I didn't end up originally pulling. And one is this file folder maker. I made a little file folder to add some dimension, and then I used one of the Tim Holtz pen nibs that you'll see because I decided to add a metal element. So let me just move all this and then I will show you what I made. Okay, so I don't know if this is all going to go in the picture, but here is my, you know what, it's not really going in. Hold on, let me see what I could do here. We just might need to go piece by piece. So let's start at the top here. Okay, so what I did was, the very first thing I did was I typed my letter right here. And I wrote Reagan, and then I was, the place ran out of vowels, so I used my typewriter stamp to stamp the E's and the A's. And then I used the keys to do the rest. And then I typed her a little letter. And it says, I'm going to read it off camera. It says, Reagan, listen closely to Mommy. I have something important to tell you. As you grow up, there may be times where we don't see eye to eye. I have had these times with my mom growing up as well. What I want you to know is that when you start to feel like we are not getting along and you aren't up to hearing me out, please just pull out this little note. It will remind you how much I love you and let you know that having children was the best thing I ever did with my life. I love you with all my heart, Mom. So I just wanted her to have a little note from me in her album, because we all know growing up you don't always agree with your parents, but I don't ever want her to forget that I love her. So I just wrote her a little note and I put it on this little piece of handwriting paper. And basically all I did was I cut varying strips of paper from the papers, all the different designer papers, and then I laid them in a layering effect. Then I put my letter to Reagan and I acted like I kind of held it down with the washi tape here. And then I took one of those journaling spots and added a pen nib here. Since it's a letter, I just liked the effect of the pen nib. And then I did some collaging on both sides, and I like to always do alternate collaging. So if I collage on the upper left, I always collage on the bottom right. And what I did was I used my Hambly's rub-on right there of the alphabet. And then here is a journaling. This journaling spot is actually a big rectangle with scallops, but I only showed this little curly edge right here. And then I added some of that fabrics right here for some texture and put this story right there. And then this is a rub-on that came from the October Afternoon collection. Then up in this corner, I used the other half of this very same, because this is this. I just cut the bottom off. I used the other half here. I put a couple mini brads from Basic Gray. This is one of those, one of these right here. And then I added some twine in it. And then here's the little cute file folder I made. I absolutely love it. And I used a Tim Holtz mini fastener right here to hold it on. And I love the way that looks, and I love that it brings the blue from here up to this corner. And then there is the little file tab thing that says treasures, and I just added it here. And then this is a border strip that I just put half of it underneath, tucked in there. Then around Reagan's picture, I put this little 11. Oh, and everything is edged, even the edge right here, with the Spice Tin Jenny Bolin ink. It's this lovely navy color right here. So I just edged the flower with that and added a little bit of button twine and a button. This little number 11 piece, since she was born on 11/11/11, and then this little home piece from Studio Calico. So I'll give you one final look at it. Sorry it can't all fit in there together. And that's my finished product. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I may be taking a small little break from doing 12 by 12s. I think I'm kind of burning out on them right now, and I don't like to continue things when I'm burning out because then it just, my creativity is gone. So I'll probably be doing a few cards in my next videos. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.